Welcome back to a brand new video, and today is a very exciting day because I've got myself a unit. But as you'll see, it needs a lot of work. But even though it needs a lot of work, it's a huge upgrade from where I started from, and a massive risk that I'm hoping will pay off. At the start of the year working on my driveway, I'd have never have thought I'd be in a place this size within a matter of months. I was working out a 5x3 metre workshop which I self-built on my back garden. This served me well, but for bigger projects like my Hayabusa Swap Peugeot 106, I've quickly outgrown it. Which brings me here, an abandoned unit which needs a total renovation. Because as you'll see, the walls are literally falling apart. It's got its own ecosystem. Nature's taken over. It's got a top of the range vanity unit. It's got a top of the range vanity unit. Got some lovely toilet decor. An office. Floor. That floor definitely needs looking at. And the reason I'm so excited for having this unit, even though it needs a lot of work, is because it's absolutely massive, and for the size, this is the best I could afford. So I am gonna have to do a lot of work myself. And as well as having this massive space, which all my stuff's gonna look lost in, I've also got this little sunken in area, which could potentially become a spray booth. So as you can see, this is really gonna help grow the channel and mean I can take on even crazier projects as well as making videos all year round. So I'm not going to waste any more time because there's absolutely loads to do, but luckily I've got some help today. The first job on my list was to start ripping off all the blown render because it's so loose there's no point leaving it on there, and I don't want it to fall off later down the line. As you can see, it came off really easy because most of the render had already become unattached to the wall due to some leaking roof issues. But my plan before I started was to actually patch up the loose bits. Well, that soon changed when I saw how bad it was falling off. Luckily I think the exposed bricks look alright. Then while I finished the hard to reach spots on the first wall, my mum and Becky moved on to the side wall. This wasn't as bad, but definitely needed coming off around the bottom and around the windowsills. It wasn't all easy going. Some bits were really stubborn, but it just looked silly leaving those. So bit by bit we chipped off all the render around the affected areas, and it exposed some very old fireplaces. Once all the loose render was mainly off, I got onto mixing up some sharp sand and cement. This is to patch the windowsills and neaten up any rough edges where the render had broken off. So now I'm just brushing off all the dust and scraping off any loose paint so I can patch this windowsill up and make sure the cement actually sticks to it. To make a neat job, I've screwed a batten of wood onto the wall, which will give me something to patch down to give the windowsill a nice neat edge. Now I'm dampening the area down to eliminate any dust before slapping on the sand and cement mixture. This was really tricky to get straight, but using this long skimming tool helped. And I only had to do this 5 more times. After doing 3 windowsills with a sand and cement mixture, I decided to start using bonding coat instead, because it's much easier to work with. Plus you can build up thickness a lot better. It's not as hard wearing or water resistant as sand and cement, but it should be fine for in here. And using the same technique as I did for the windowsills, I'm patching up the rough edges on the fireplaces, just to neaten them up and make them nice and square, again using the bonding coat mixture. I was mixing this up really thick to allow me to patch up deep gaps in one coat. I'm not sure if that's a professional way to do it, but it seemed to work. Then before the bonding coat dries, I can just remove the battens and clean up around the edges. And once they're all straight, I'm on to the next one. just as I thought I might be done patching, I unfortunately noticed some more loose render.
So it's not as bad as before? Oh. Good job not on that ladder, eh? That's a big It honestly doesn't look that bad. It's got an Urban Outfit as well. Rustic, innit? No, this just sounded damp when it hit the wall.
Now with all the loose render finally off and a massive pile of rubbish to clean up, I had to have a think about what to do with the missing render patches. Quick progress update on the unit. It's day 4, I think. I'm on my own today. I've had a lot of help, obviously ripping the render off as you've seen, patching up all the windowsills, patching up the chimneys, just to make it kind of look nice. And I've had to rip the render off up top because it was just literally in front of the wall. It was not stuck on at all. So I'm not going to patch it back up because it's a bit too high. All I'm going to do is just paint it white. I don't think you'll notice because it's so high up. And unfortunately, I have got to do the whole thing with the brush and roller because I did try and buy, well, I did buy a little paint sprayer from B&Q, and this is what it did, but this patch alone took like 5 minutes just to spray because the paint has to be so thin, and then along with setting it all up and cleaning it down after, it's literally just easier to do it with a roller and brush. So it is getting there. It's taking a lot of time, but before I actually crack on painting, I'll just show you what my plan is with the paint. So this wall is going fully white top to bottom. This wall is getting left brick because it kind of looks nice. This wall is going to be like a two-tone. I'll just show you. So the bottom's going to be brick. Chimneys are going to be white, I think. And then where the render stopped falling off, I've just patched it up with a straight line. So all that's going to be white. Just paint all the bricks white. So it's going to be like white on top, brick underneath. I think that'll look really nice. And then just around the bottom of the windowsills, I'm going to do black. So it'll be black, black, black. Maybe do them black, I don't know. Black, black, white. I just left that because it was so stuck on. I thought, I'll leave it on there. The sink's going to go over there because, well, it's literally falling off and I want like a stainless steel one. So it's a good job. It's a good job I am actually a plumber by trade. So hopefully not for long. This tap in here also needs, I mean, look, if you're a plumber, you know that is ropey, a couple of flexes. So that, I'm just going to put straight down here, probably have an outside tap there somewhere. So, it is getting there, finally. Well, I say finally. It's getting there, put it that way. So, I'm not looking forward to sweeping all this up, that's for sure. I'm just putting it off, to be honest. I'm going to get this painted. This feels so high up, but I'm going to do what is called a landlord special. So you see these cobwebs, all you do is just paint them in. And with that being said, I spent the rest of the afternoon doing a landlord special paint job on the walls. Literally anything will be an improvement, and with the amount of walls that there was for me to paint on my own, I didn't want to spend forever doing it, because at the end of the day, I just want to build fun project cars. So the sooner the unit's ready, the sooner I can get back onto cars. Yeah, I know the walls are really bad. There's literally render missing everywhere. But I'm just doing what I can with some filler to try and make it at least a bit better. So to try and help speed up the process, I bought an airless sprayer, which should make applying the paint super fast compared to a roller and brush. I've just got it going. Let's see how good it actually is. I've not had a go yet. and I think that's safe to say it's definitely a lot quicker and funner than painting with a roller and brush. No more up and down the ladder refilling paint. This airless sprayer fires out paint as quick as you can apply it. Definitely worth the money just for the pure time it saves to get this unit painted. I feel like sometimes I might underestimate how big a job actually is, but by the time I've started, I've committed and it's too late, so you've got to finish it. And to have a break from painting, I picked up a stainless steel sink to replace the old broken one. But before I go any further, I want to say a massive thank you to YFood for sponsoring this video. Because YFood is a lifesaver for people like me. I just want to crack on throughout the day, so I don't always find time to stop and eat. Plus, this is my kitchen down here, so it's not exactly possible to cook anything healthy. But even when I'd be at home working on the driveway, I'd often skip meals just to get the job done. Covered in oil, starving, just trying to get the last bit of the project finished. Only to go home and fill my face full of biscuits, leaving me feeling not great. YFood is a healthy alternative to fast food. For example, each one of these drinks contain up to 30 grams of protein, 26 essential vitamins and minerals, no added sugar, and it'll keep you full for up to 5 hours. With a range of flavours, there's bound to be one for you. The cold brew coffee is a bit of me. Or, if drinks aren't your thing, they do a great range of bars including salted caramel, chocolate strawberry, roasted hazelnut, and more. With each bar containing 14 grams of protein, 25 essential vitamins and minerals, they'll keep you full for up to 3 hours. So if you'd like to grab yourself a taster pack or anything off their website, use my link in the description or code on screen to get yourself a bit of a discount. So after mocking up the new stainless steel sink to go in the corner, I can just rip out the old thing, which basically fell apart by touching it. And if you're wondering why I'm suddenly making candle holders, I'm not, I'm making table leg holders. Yeah, they might look a bit funny, but they do the job, because this sink unit, for some reason, is quite short. As I said earlier in the video, I am actually a plumber by trade, so that allowed me to save some cost in renovating this old unit, because things like moving the sink and installing an outside tap were no problem. Then with the cold feed pipe bowl plumbed in, I've just got to connect the waste and I've got a working sink. And while I'm doing the plumbing jobs, the next thing on the list was to move the outside tap, because as you can see, it's a right bodge, just connected up by a load of flexes. So with a bit of basic plumbing, I've got a nice new outside tap. And to put off doing any more painting, I've turned my attention to the ceiling, which as you can see, some bits are literally falling down from being rotted through. So with the rotted boards ripped off, I've just cut and awkwardly screwed up some new ones, and after a bit of backache, job's a goodie. Because I'd already been to the wood yard and picked up all the wood, I thought it makes sense to do the next woodworky job. Build a stud wall to section off the main unit from the garagey bit, mainly to try and keep the main work area warmer in the winter, and because the hole in the wall seems pretty pointless anyways. With the wall built, it's time to face reality and get back to painting with a sprayer. Even with the sprayer, it took a decent amount of time. I think in total I used about 60 litres of white paint in this place. But luckily, my mum's back to help and is cracking on blacking out the windowsills. Then with the wall done, it don't look half bad with your eyes shut. And to say how quickly painting the walls white became boring, painting the old fireplaces was actually dead satisfying. I think it's down to the colour difference. So while I've got the brush dirty, I've powered through and finished all the painting, including all 3 fireplaces blacked out, the sliding door blacked out, and a few other little bits around the unit. While I'm finishing up painting, my mum's back to give me a hand, scraping off all the dirt on the windows, which looks like old dried up clay, along with giving them a good wipe down. Now it's great that all the walls look good, but there's nowhere to put anything. So I bought these lovely stainless steel tables, which you might have already seen in the video, but they're a bit deep and I want them to go against a wall. So I'm going to try and cut them in half. And when I say cut them in half, that's literally what I did. Got out the angle grinder and went for it, which luckily turned out just as I'd imagined. That actually looks sick, I'm well happy with that. All I'm going to do now is build a frame at the back so it's actually got some support. I'm just doing it out of wood. It should be strong enough, and for me it's a lot quicker than welding up a new steel frame. Then I just had to repeat the whole process 3 more times. But again, I got sidetracked. I noticed the floor was a bit uneven and loose, and once I'd noticed how loose it was, I couldn't help but immediately start ripping it up with the SDS drill. And it's a good job I did, because it came up really easy, and it gives me a chance to relay it nice and smooth. I want to get this done in about an hour because it's a bit of a last minute thing. I've not finished fitting the tables against the wall because I was just having dinner and then noticed the floor wasn't level and started digging it up. So I did get a bit sidetracked, but I've just fetched all that ballast from B&Q. Got 10 bags, I don't really know how much I need. So I'm just going to power through it, hopefully do it in like an hour and just pretend it didn't happen. But first it needs wetting down so the cement doesn't just stick to dust. While Becky finishes off priming the old floor for new concrete, I got to the back-breaking job of mixing 12 bags of sand and cement up, which I did continuously for the next hour and a half, only to realise I'd slightly undercalculated. It's 5 to 3, it's nearly took an hour, and I've got 2 bags left out of 10. This is where we've got to. So, underestimated that, didn't we?
Yeah.
But it's a good job Becky has a natural talent for laying concrete, which she seemed to enjoy. Then, with my sore back rested from mixing up endless bags of concrete, it's finally time to move in. This took most of the day, and about 4 van loads to move all my stuff from a 160 square foot home built workshop to a 2,000 square foot industrial unit. Then, after hours of tidying everything away, it's time to reveal the finished product. This place has come such a long way. If you remember at the start of the video, the walls were literally falling off. It had actual plants growing inside, and the place just looked pretty much abandoned. So I'm so happy to be at this point now, 3 weeks later, ready to start the next project. And I can't actually believe I've got all this space to work in. So let me show you. All that's left now is to get the next project in.